I want to be able to replay this, so we're going to do this one instead. Hello, welcome. Hey there, Lindsay. How are you, babes? I'm trying to get my... There is like a meditation one that I want to use today, and I gotta find it. Here it is. Okay. So let's turn this one off for now. Good to see you too. Can I just say how happy I am that scrunchies came back, and I will be so sad when they go out of style again. And I'll still wear them anyway and be super uncool. They're the only thing that stays in my hair and don't give me headaches. So, scrunchies forever. Scrunchies and leggings forever. And leggings are pants, and I'm so glad that's over too. Remember when everybody was like, leggings aren't pants? And we were like, hey Luna, how are you today? How's everybody doing on this 11/11 day? I'm trying to get my hair not to look weird. We're gonna do some love readings for 11/11, but if you want to me to read about any topic today, there will be a chance for you to get personal readings after the collective reading. Yay! Yeah, I'm in a pretty good mood. I don't have a reason to not be in a good mood. You know why? Because 2 days ago, my person came back. No, that's not what happened 2 days ago. What happened 2 days ago is that I started being in the present moment a whole lot more. I saw that TikTok video that was like, did everybody see it? I hope they have by now. I reposted it, so if you're following me, you probably saw it. But it was this person that was like, you don't think your thoughts, you receive your thoughts. And if you are not in the present moment, then you are receiving your thoughts from the past self concept. And that means you're recreating your experiences over and over and over again. And if you want to stop doing that, you have to be present and open to receive thoughts that are new, that are creating a future that is not a repeat of the past. And so I got that message a few days ago, and it has truly altered how I feel, even if it hasn't changed exactly every single thing about my situation overnight. It changed how I felt overnight, which I think is going to be very, very helpful. And I've really thought about it a lot. You know, there's been a lot of times over the last couple of days when I probably would have, like, as soon as I had a quiet moment, I would have jumped on TikTok, tried to find a reading and see where my person was at from the reading or something, or just like looked for a sign or whatever. And instead of doing that the last few days, I've just been being like, oh, let's be here right now in this present moment, with all of its discomfort and comforts, and appreciate the comforts that are here, acknowledge the discomfort, and know that the discomfort is simply something I'm observing, and that when I take my observation away from it and focus instead on my breath and appreciation, etc., that I am receiving those new thoughts that are going to help me create new experiences so I can get out of the same old that happens all the time. So that's been really helping me the last couple of days, and it encouraged me to create a new visualization that I started doing yesterday, and it was on yesterday's live replay, which you can see on Tuned In Tarot YouTube if you didn't get a chance. And I'm going to do that same visualization today with everybody. But I'm going to start with doing some tarot reading first, just to kind of get a sense of where we are so that we know what we need to shift during the visualization today. So that's how it's going to work. And I would like to also probably put this on YouTube as well. So the replay of this will be available in case you miss it. If you could share the live today, that would be really helpful. That is one way for people to know that I'm live, and for TikTok to keep me in the FYP, which they haven't really been doing lately for my lives, and I'm not really sure why. I did leave my TikTok agency last week, and I don't know if that had played a role in my ranking or something, but it may have. So all the help that you can give with sharing the live, thank you so much for doing that just now, and sharing my content would be so helpful. All right, so let me shuffle some of these decks, because for some reason they're all not shuffled today. I have a lot of private readings. I have a sale going on that ends tonight at midnight, and people are taking advantage of it, so I'm pretty busy this weekend, which is really nice. But if you book a custom reading, that means when you go to my website, you see a $33 reading. When you book that reading and in the notes say that you would like the Tell Me Everything spread, I will do the Tell Me Everything spread for you. Normally the Tell Me Everything spread is $44, and you can see that reading on the page. Lindsay, I noticed that you did book the $44 one instead of the $33 one. So I will just, once your payment goes through to, it hasn't come into my bank yet, but once it goes through to my bank, I will just send you $11 and we'll work it out. I've got your DM, so I'll figure that out with you. But it was just, you're supposed to book the $33 one, so no worries for that. But if you go to the site, book the $33 reading, and then just say, oh, thank you, babes. I'll throw in a bonus for you. Like, I'll throw in something extra in your reading. But yeah, book the $33 reading, and then just say in the notes section that you would like the Tell Me Everything spread. And if you don't know what that spread is my most popular reading that I have, that I offer. And it was really the one that kind of grew my account, honestly. It's the one that I post almost every day, and you only see a small portion of it, 3 minutes of it, but I do a much more in-depth 20 to 30 minute version of that reading. So that's what that reading is. And but yeah, I'll make sure I throw a little bonus in for you. Thank you for understanding that. Okay, so let's look. Since today is 11/11, we're gonna look, and it's also Friday, which is Venus's day, and we're gonna look at the lovely Twin Flame Union Tarot spread for your Journey to Love by Liv Tarot. It's a standard. I've been doing it a lot lately. I really like it. I think it works to capture both sides of masculine and feminine energy. And it's not too long and meandering like some of my readings can be. So let's get started. We're going to do feminine energy. What do I want from, what do I really want? What do I really, really want from this union? What am I not seeing clearly about my divine masculine? What would my life be like if we got together? What would my life be like if we got together? Keeps being a lot of cards. I just want like at least one or two. How does he truly feel about me deep down in his heart? And where is this connection going in the future? Now, if you saw yesterday's reading, this reading threw me for a loop. I was very emotional about it, but it's all good. And now let's see. And also, Lindsay, if you would like me to pull a card for you since you're a prayer after the collective reading, I will absolutely do that. I just forgot, or I would have done it before this, but I totally forgot about it. So if you would like, this is what do I really want from this union. If you'd like a reading, or if you have a specific question or whatever, just let me know after the collective. And if you are a subscriber and have a prayer badge by your name, and I see you on one of my lives, I will try to remember to pull a card for you. If I forget, just say, hey, I'd love a card today, or I have a question today or something. As long as you have a badge, I will answer questions for you. What would my life be like if we got together? How does she truly feel about me deep down in her heart? Okay, divine masculine with 2 cards today. And where is this connection going too many cards. Okay, fine. 2 cards. Jeez. All right, let's get going. So, what do I really want from this union? Divine Feminine? I want some rest. I want some rest. We have the 4 of Swords. I just want to have completed my healing, come into a stable place inside within. I want this connection to be proof of faith, right? Proof of the faith that I put into it. I want it to bring me some peace and some rest. Like I feel that I'm going all the time on my own, trying to make this connection happen, trying to make things in my life happen. And what I really want from coming into union is just to be able to just take a deep, rejuvenating sleep that I have not been able to get for as long as I can remember, because it's always kind of on my mind. I want it to strengthen my faith, my belief that I can have what I asked for. And I do get a sense there that I want to heal some of the grief that I've experienced. What do I really want from this union, Divine Masculine? Okay. I want a mommy. Not really, but kinda. We have the Queen of Pentacles here, who's, you know, the mother, the nurturer. She's creative, she's abundant, she's very beautiful and independent, and, you know, can take care of herself, but she does take care of others very well. And we've got here the Ace of Cups. So, you know, I want your love, Divine Feminine. I want to feel the love that I've seen you pour into yourself. I want to partake in that. I want to share in that. Not that I don't want to also nurture and give back to you, because I do. But I definitely want to be held, cuddled, snuggled, told everything is okay. I want that too. And I need that. I need that too. Like, we all need that. We all need that nurturing energy. And there's no shame in it. Obviously, we don't want to have to be someone's mommy, but that's not entirely the message here. There is an element of that, though. I would be remiss if I did not speak to that. I definitely do think that this masculine energy wants to be taken care of emotionally. So I feel like that's something you have to learn to do for yourself, Divine Masculine, but we'll do the rest of the reading. What am I not seeing clearly now about my Divine Masculine? Okay, we're getting the 4 of Cups here. So what you're not seeing clearly is the reasons why Divine Masculine is passing up these opportunities with you. I think a lot of times you're thinking it's because of his social life or these other people that are around him tempting him, you know, all these pleasures, and that he's not working on himself, that he's indolent or something. And that's not really the case. What's happening is he is having to distract himself from all of those outside energies that are pulling on his attention. And he is needing to ground and really center and receive that cup of love that he's seeking from the divine. And he's having to learn how to do that precisely for the reason that you don't want to be his mom. He is needing to center himself and understand that there is this cup that is always available to him from the divine. He doesn't have to look around him in social situations or, you know, sexual connections, or it is just always available to him. And he is having to really know that and understand that. And that's why he's missed these opportunities. This sense that he hasn't fully, he's focused on those spilled cups. He's focused on the other cups in front of him thinking he's going to find this cup there, or trying to figure out how to find this cup rather than worry about other people's. But it's not quite what you think. It's not because he's lazy or not willing to work on himself, or, you know, because he's like in a fantasy dreamland. That's really not seeing the picture so clearly. The reason that there's no movement is because he has to find his own cup before he could possibly give it to you. So that's what the holdup has been about, and you weren't really seeing that clearly. You were thinking that he just wasn't working on himself and he just wanted to have fun. And that's not really the case. What is divine masculine not seeing clearly about divine feminine? He is not seeing that she is just ready to give up completely. Like, she cannot wait around for him to make up his mind. And she will jump, leap, like fall from a plane into the next opportunity. Like, she will literally just go without even looking back. There's no pillar of salt at this point. Have a good day, Luna, love you. That she's gonna be turning into to like wait for him to come. No, she is just gonna go. She has pretty much given up on trying to do anything to make this happen. Like, she's not gonna text you, she is not gonna call you, she is not gonna try to set up a date with you, she is not going to do anything to make this easy for you anymore. She is completely done. Gave up. I'm good. Peace out. If you want to talk, you got my number. And that is not going to change, because it is not her job to try to help you solve your mental issues about whether or not to do this, right? So he's not seeing that clearly. There's not going to be action from the feminine. So if he's sitting there being like, well, I'm just waiting for her to talk to me, she's going to go be with someone else, because she's not going to talk to him anymore without a reason to. And he's not giving her any reason to. What would my life be like if we got together? Divine feminine, we've got the Judgment card. So this is an interesting energy, because this is about forgiveness, having to forgive yourself and someone else for the experiences you've had. It's about awakening, so fully awakening to your higher self. And in this picture, we see the divine feminine holding her hand out to help. And this card is about salvation and saving someone. So there is an element here that you might always, to a certain extent right now, feel that you will have to kind of be the one that saves the masculine from himself. And I don't love that energy either, because you don't want to be in a relationship where you're always having to help somebody else, like save them from their own bad habits and stuff like that. Like, you've got your own shit to deal with. And so there is a bit of a sticky energy here with having this expectation that you're going to constantly have to like awaken this masculine energy. It's like, I feel like you might want to rethink this aspect. Like, when is it that masculine saves himself and you both are just healed together? Why is it that there has to be this idea that the feminine energy is responsible for the masculine energy's emotional processing? That doesn't really fly. So there is a little bit of a sticky energy there. Also, it does look like in order to be together, you really are going to have to forgive this person. So if you want to be with this person and you can't forgive them right now for the things that they have done, that's why you're not together. And if you do want to be together, you have to forgive them for what they've done. And there's no way around that. So if it doesn't seem like something that you're going to be able to do, like if somebody has stepped out on you, or left you in the dark for so long and made you feel so unworthy and triggered these deep wounds in you, and you just can't separate that wounding from the person, then it's unlikely that you would feel good in a relationship with this person, because you have to be able to forgive them for that. For Divine Masculine, we're getting the Page of Wands in reverse. So what would life be like if I got together with Divine Feminine? Well, my immature communication would not be acceptable anymore. I could no longer fall back on my childishness and just be like, oh, I didn't know how to do it, or I didn't know what to say, or like, you know, I thought you wouldn't care, or you can't do that anymore. There's no withholding of communication because you don't know how to talk about ideas or, you know, express what's on your mind. That's not going to be a thing. So if the masculine energy is uncomfortable with having to step into his power in terms of being able to express his ideas and take action that's consistent, he would also be uncomfortable in this relationship. He has got to be willing to be consistently showing up and taking action and putting his money where his mouth is. So yeah, it could be a little bit challenging for the both of you to overcome some of your issues, but this is, remember, only what you're thinking right now and feeling about this relationship. So it changes by the day, which is why we do this reading more than once, because we're basically checking, okay, after the information I received yesterday, the meditation I did, the inner child healing I did, what do I think my relationship with this person is going to be like now? And so after some of the work you did, you're having sort of a realization that, like, I'm going to have to forgive this person. I'm going to have to embrace that I'm sort of leading the way in terms of the awakening and the connection, and I have to be comfortable with that. And the masculine has to admit that I have expressed myself in really immature ways or failed to initiate communication often, and I can't do that anymore. I actually have to initiate communication, and I have to follow through and be consistent. Hi, Jody Marie. If you'd like a card today, you can either subscribe to my channel to receive a card, or if you want a personal reading, it's going to be $33 following the collective reading. And if you do subscribe to my channel, anytime I see you in the live with the prayer badge, I will pull a card for you. Okay, so how does he truly feel about me deep down in his heart? So Divine Feminine, you know that he has true love. This is the Page of Cups. You know that Divine Masculine is truly in love with you, but you also know that he's very boyish, very, like, you know, kind of this lovesick, puppy love, immature, underdeveloped emotional expression. So he loves me, but, you know, his way of showing it is, I always say this card is like carving your initials on the tree. You're like, oh, now there's my initials carved on a tree. Great. I can't marry my initials. I can't start planning a future with my initials. You know, something like that, right? Hi, how are you doing? How does Divine Feminine truly feel about me deep down in her heart? Divine Masculine is feeling that she has extremely strong feelings for him that really do bother her. That it's actually something that doesn't feel necessarily that good, because she's worried about how things aren't panning out or working out. It's a very strong pull. It keeps her up at night, keeps her in her head, and maybe kind of feels really trapped by the strong feeling she has for him. So right now he's perceiving feminine as feeling trapped by him. Like, she doesn't even really want to have these feelings, but the pull is so strong that she can't resist it. And I think that bothers him, that, you know, obviously it feels good that there's a strong connection, and that can't be denied. Hi, Cheryl. But that he doesn't want her to feel bothered by the connection, worried or trapped. He wants her to feel good about it. And he knows that he's the source of the Nine of Swords, that she feels kind of tortured by it, and that she's constantly having to control her fear and anxiety. And it's really on him to like turn that around. And then finally, where is this connection going in the future? Okay, interesting. Divine Feminine, we have here for you the Eight of Swords. So you are planning to remain guarded. Truthfully, it's very difficult for you to release a lot of these thoughts that you've been having about the masculine. And until you can release those thoughts or assumptions about him, you will remain in this guarded energy. So if you want to be more open, you're gonna have to work on the way you think about this person. And the best way to do that is to detach from their current 3D version of themselves, which means no social media, no social media. And as a person who existed before social media was a thing, I can tell you that we had relationships with people just fine. We used the telephone to call each other. We would see each other in person or on outings with friends. We would communicate directly with people. We did not have any other way of communicating, and people had sex and relationships and all kinds of things happen. So social media is not integral for your connection. It's not helpful for your connection, and it is not the only way for them to reach out to you. So if you think, oh, but if I don't look at his media, I won't know what page he's on, you're right, you won't. Because his social media isn't saying anything real anyway. It's just an image. He even projects an image of his love for you there. Like, it's not really followed through, so it doesn't really have meaning. Like, my person can post as many, I don't know what he's posted in the last 24 hours because I took my own advice yesterday and I just shut it out. But he can post whatever he wants, and without words or follow through or any physical meetup, it's just fucking bullshit. Like, it's not real. And so to get away from that 3D version of the person, you really just have to cut them out. And you don't have to block them, but you just have to make a concerted effort not to check in on how they're doing, because all you're gonna see is your assumptions that you're still thinking. So the only time it's okay to go, and first of all, I don't even know why you would want to. I mean, I know why you would want to. Let me rephrase that. I know why you would want to, because you get a little hit every time you do it. It's like taking a drug. You get a little endorphin rush from seeing whatever he's posted and reading into it, or if it's obvious, like, knowing that it was for you, whatever, that gives you a little fix, and that's why you want to do it. But addictions are not satisfying. That's why we keep having to go back to them. They don't actually fill the void, so we just keep doing it. So I do know why you would want to, but I do not know why you would choose to. Because if you do choose to consistently keep checking, you are checking to see whether this is true. And if you still believe every one of these thoughts about him to be true, guess what you're going to find? Because particles coalesce into matter as soon as we observe them. So they're going to absolutely behave how we expect and assume them to behave. That is what I believe happens in the quantum field. So that is what you're going to see. So if you want to have a good connection with this person in the future, if you want to be open to this person in the future, you need to not pay attention to how they really are right now. Release your thoughts about how they have been, and be in the present moment. This is not being in the present moment. This is being trapped in your head, and your head is full of all the stuff from your past. So to be in the present moment, you are, if you're with your pet, you are with your pet. If you notice your mind drifting off, you call it back to, like, my dog's named Bowie. When I'm trying to be with her, I just try to focus on how soft her fur is, how warm she is. how she smells, what it feels like when she plays with me, how it makes me smile. I have to be immersed in the present moment to be fully present. Now, when that is happening, especially when you're with your pet, that's why Abraham Hicks always says pet your cat or whatever, pet your dog, pet your cat. Because whenever you are fully immersed in an experience, your mind at that point is not feeding all these old thoughts into the mix. You're open to new ones. You're open to receiving new experiences. So you have to do that in order to be in a positive space and to not have to be guarded about this connection. This is what Divine Masculine is receiving. Where is this connection going in the future? So basically, if Divine Masculine wants to be welcomed in by the Feminine, who is on her guard, he has to end the suspension that she's been in. And it looks like he knows that, and he is seeking to come up with a strategy, which is what the Queen of Wands does, in order to actually end the suspension, stop her having to wait for him to make up his mind. He also has to completely understand, comprehend her experience. He has to see things clearly from her perspective. If he can't see things clearly from her perspective, if he's only seeing through the lens of his own ego, it will be very difficult for him to come forward at this time. So he has to be able to see things from her perspective, which means you have to reflect back to the masculine his own energy. So if he's not communicating with you, you're not communicating. If he is not prioritizing you, you are not prioritizing him. You know, and if he's communicating 144 in a way that's disrespectful, then you withhold your communication. You do not respond to disrespectful communication. What's disrespectful communication? For me, that is posting a story to your Instagram and assuming that that is good enough to show your feelings of affection for me. It's not. It's disrespectful. I'm a human being. I require that you speak directly to me if you want me to know your truth. I shouldn't have to guess. I shouldn't have to feel like I'm hidden away. And that's disrespectful. So if you're going to talk to me that way, then I'm going to be the Queen of Swords and just say, okay, well, you can't come in. If you want me to respect you, then you need to respect me. And the Divine Masculine has really got to wrap his brain around that, and he's got to deal with it. Real reading today for the 1111 portal. Let me see. Is there anything else I'd like to ask? Let's see. I guess, what do we most need to know right now that will help us with this current energy? What do I most need to know? What do we most need to know? But what does the Divine Feminine most need to know right now that will help her with this current energy and the connection? What does Divine Masculine most need to know? All right. Divine Feminine, what you most need to know right now is that your masculine energy is really working on intimacy. There is an awareness the masculine energy has that he has not been good with intimacy. Now remember, this is you too. So you yourself are working on intimacy. Like, for instance, I have my new planner that I've been using the last couple weeks. And there is a section in the monthly part which gives you like this blank, starts out like this. It gives you this like blank little pie chart thing here, and it has spiritual, health and fitness, business and career, family and friends, romance, personal development, finance and recreation. And then you're supposed to fill it in as you go. And so each day that I've been doing something, I've been like marking off that thing in regards to these areas of my life to keep track of it. And I have been doing really stellar with health and fitness, spiritual, recreation, personal development. My business and career is pretty good. My family and friends is pretty good. My finance, a little lacking. My willingness to deal with my finances. And then this is romance for me. This is intimacy. It's empty. I haven't done anything to have romance in my life. I haven't tried to date. I haven't, nothing. I've done nothing in the so I'm like, I want romance and intimacy. And then there's this huge gaping piece of the pie right here. So when I look at this card and I'm like, well, I'm glad that my person is working on their issues with intimacy, because if they were intimate, then they would be able to be with me. And then I look at this freaking thing and I can see right now that I am avoiding romance. Why? Well, because I'm stuck on this person who I'm waiting to deal with their intimacy. And I bet their pie chart looks just like mine. Not that they should be out dating, but that they should be communicating to the person that they want to have a romantic connection with. Meanwhile, I don't have a person that I want to have a romantic connection with, and I'm waiting for someone else to initiate, and nothing is happening. Isn't that weird? Yeah. So the good news is the divine masculine is working on intimacy. Now, me acknowledging that is part of beginning the work that I need to do. Like, obviously, I need to put myself into a situation where I can have romance. There's only a few ways to do that, and I need to start doing it. When I tried to do that this week, if you saw my reading yesterday, I was all emotional, and I was saying that it's frustrating because when I try to do these things, it doesn't work. But, I actually should fill in one of those pieces of the pie, because I tried to go, my advice that came through a while back was, if you don't want to do dating apps, which nobody wants to do, then you need to go and do the things that you would want to do with a person that you were with, because that person will also be doing those things. So if you read books, then you want to go to a bookstore. You want to take a book with you to a cafe and have it sitting in front of you so somebody can be like, oh, I love that book, right? You want to open up or invite the opportunities for people to come in. So you don't have to be dating someone to be working on romance in your life, but you do have to be mindful of putting yourself in situations where romance can happen. If I stay all day long in my house, working on my job, talking to the friends I already have over FaceTime, basically living that quarantine, like COVID life for some reason, because I got used to it, I guess. And also I'm in a very small town that I don't really want to settle down in. I'm trying to move to a different place. So in my mind, logically, I'm like, why would you work on trying to find a relationship here? There's not anybody here that you would want to have a relationship with. Okay, well, if I'm supposed to move to Massachusetts, let's say, then maybe I look for a community that is like Salem is one of the places I really like to go. That's a place I'm likely to meet somebody, because I don't want to marry a muggle. Fuck muggles. I don't want any, I'm sorry muggles. I just know, I guess I'm a Slytherin. I don't want y'all. I want pure blood children. Like, I don't want to have to deal with somebody who does not believe in magic and not doing it. So I need to look for a community that is going to honor like what I would want to do. So maybe I go and I look at like some kind of community in Salem, and like maybe they have like a monthly book club or something, maybe an online thing. Maybe I try to do that. You just have to put yourself into situations or open yourself up to people finding you where you want to be found, because you want to be with that person in that collective. Like, truthfully, my TikTok is actually open. You can meet somebody on TikTok. Somebody could be like, oh my God, I love your readings. You're really cool. And I'm queer. So there's 20,000 single people following me right now. And I'm sure one of them would be like, oh my God, I really resonate with a lot of what you say. And I think you're great. And I want to get to know you more. I just had to open myself up to those experiences, but I have to work on it. I have to imagine it happening. How is it going to happen if you don't imagine it? You have to imagine it. I have to I have to like look for ways to find those opportunities. So I did try to go to a bookstore, and it was closed. I drove 50 minutes to get there because I was like, I don't care. I just want to go on a date at this point. I don't need to meet my person at a bookstore, but maybe I can meet somebody who I'd like want to go get coffee with and just work on romantic conversations and situations at the very least, right? And then I get there and it's closed. I sobbed. It had this note on the door that was like, if there's books that you'd like order them online and then pick them up here. And I was like, why? I just want to be able to do this thing. So I should actually acknowledge that I did try to do something, and I'm actually going to go fill in one little part of my chart because I did try this week to do it. But this is something that you have to work on. If you're just sitting there waiting for somebody to make a move, you are not working on romance and intimacy. You are not. There's an illusion there. You're like, I'm working on myself so that my person will come in and we will have romance. Okay, well, that's not working on romance though. That's working on yourself. If you want to work on romantic connections, you have to practice romance. So you need to be in romantic connections to do that. Now, you don't have to look at every single person that you go on a date with as your future husband. And in fact, you really should stop doing that and just actually be in the moment and be present and enjoy yourself and just be like, oh, this is what it's like to connect with somebody. Oh, this is what it's like to feel chemistry. Oh, this is what it's like when somebody reciprocates that. I didn't know that because for the last 14 years, the only way my person has reciprocated has been through releasing songs or, making playlists or putting up Instagram stories. And that's weirdly super unsatisfying, right? So that is the most important thing for you to know right now about your situation. The masculine energy within inside of self is working on / needs to work on emotional intimacy. And for the masculine, what does the masculine energy need to know? That there is still resistance to commitment. That there is still this fear of committing. There is a lack of faith in self to be able to show up as much as they need to. And also, in a positive way, the masculine is working on these limiting beliefs surrounding commitment. So he's working to release these limiting beliefs that he has about being committed. Remember yesterday, he felt like if you got together, he might be on a leash. So he has to release that. Being committed to somebody isn't about being on a leash at all. Being committed is more about being committed to a relationship. It's like if you get a job, your job, the boss at your job might change. Like, the person that owns the company, they might sell the company. The person that is in charge of you, that person might be replaced by someone else. Your commitment is to your actual job itself, not to one individual in the hierarchy or structure of your employment. It's to your position. You're committed to your work, to your position. A relationship is the same. You want your relationship to be the thing that you're committed to. And that requires that you follow some of the parameters that you establish with another person. That's where you have those conversations. What does our relationship mean? What does it look like to be committed to it? For some people, being committed to a relationship is allowing enough space for the people in the relationship to explore other options. That's polyamory. There are people that have those kinds of commitments. Commitment is defined by the two people who are defining a relationship together. And so you can release some of the ideas of being on a leash. Like, anybody who I've ever dated or been with is not on a leash. Like, I have never been like, where are you? What are you doing? Who are you with? You can't go there. Don't do that. Like, if my person was like, listen, I need to go on a month-long sabbatical, I won't be able to talk to you the whole time. My security in a relationship is usually like, okay. Like, that happened in relationships I've had in the past. I was like, okay, I'll see you when you get back. Like, I love you. And then I went about my business. I wasn't worried about it. I didn't think they were cheating on me. I wasn't like, they didn't have to call me every single second. Like, I actually am not a person that keeps somebody on a leash like that. So for my person to perceive that about me would be inaccurate. But the fear that that's an element of committed relationships is very common, and you really have to define the parameters of your relationship with the person, which you cannot do without communication. If you do not communicate, you are not going to be able to define a relationship, which means you can't commit to it. And them's the facts. All right, I feel a little more satisfied with that. And I'm glad you think it's a good idea to go where you want to go. Because think about it, when you go on a dating app, okay, there's so many problems with it. But one of the biggest issues is that you spend the first, usually 24 hours, because that's how long it lasts, but you spend that first 24, 48 hours to a week literally being like, oh, what do you like to do? Oh, I like to do this. Oh, you like to do that? Oh, I like to do this too. Oh, I don't like to do that. Oh, I do this. I like to. You know what makes that just so much simpler is if you just go do the things that you like to do, social things where you're gonna see other people who may also be doing those things alone. Like, I always think of the scene in what was that show called? Superbad. When Seth Rogen is at the bar with Bill Hader, and it's when they're both cops in that show, and they're talking about picking up somebody at a bar, and Seth Rogen is like, no, you don't pick up somebody at a bar. Like, that's not where you get like a decent, like, no, it's not, no. You need to go to like a farmer's market or like the pumpkin patch. Like, and he's being an asshole in that scene about it. But it's actually true. I am a person who would want to go to the farmer's market with my person each week, or I would want to go on like a retreat with my person, or I would want to go to the bookstore or be in a museum or go to the gardens that are located somewhere, like, or those are the places that I would want to go. And I have waited to go to those places for a person to go with, when in fact I should go to the place to find the person who enjoys going to the place and doing the thing already. And then we're like, oh my God, I love doing this. Me too. Wow, we started out with something in common. Now, does that mean we're gonna have everything in common? No, but we're certainly off to a better start than like swiping right on somebody and finding out in 3 text messages that they just want to know if you're DTF, right? So I hope that helps you today. On this portal day, I just want to say portals get hyped like a ton, and the hyping that is done during portals are all about ego. You can totally see the hype is like, oh, this portal is gonna satisfy your ego's desires. It's gonna bring in exactly what your ego is desiring. And if there's one thing that I have learned on my journey, it's that no spiritual events cater to your ego. Spiritual events cater to the ascension of your soul. And soul ascension is not easy or comfortable or straightforward. It takes work. It takes energy. It takes going within. So if you're spending your portal day waiting for your person to contact you, rather than turning inward to look at your growth up through this portal, you're probably going to have a disappointing day. There's probably going to be a tinge of disappointment there, because it wasn't really about your ego getting its desires. It was about you learning, first of all, the reasons why you desire the things you desire and how to give those things to yourself. Because while we do need to be in connection with other humans, I have changed the way that I talk about not needing. I do believe you need connection. I do believe your person needs connection. I do believe you need to be in partnership if that's what you desire. Some people are not always on a journey where they desire partnership. But if you are, then that is one of your basic needs. And all people typically thrive from connections with others. I think it is very rare that a person thrives when they are isolated and disconnected from people. You know, even in my relative isolation, I have so many people who reach out to me every day. How are you doing? Let me know if you want to talk. I never feel, and that's not always been true, but for the last few years that I've been doing this work and I met my tribe, I never feel like I can't, have somebody on the phone if I need it. Or in return, if somebody needs me, I'm also available. I have a good support network of amazing, mostly divine feminine energy, or divine, I would say feminine gendered or feminine identifying. I do have some non-binary friends. I do have some masculine identifying friends, but mainly feminine identifying people in my network for the most part. And I feel very, very supported and loved. I think it was it Allie? There was somebody who I commented on their post because they were like, I hate dating apps. I don't want to do this anymore. And I was like, I am all for like a nunnery of witches. And then I was like, I guess we could call it a witchery, where we just create like a convent. We have garden, we have like spiritual practice, we sing in a choir, and we just have our own freaking witchery. Like, who's down? I'm so into that. She was like, oh my God, that sounds so good to me. Like, let's get it on. But for real though, having like a community of like-minded individuals where you can have affection and you can have, consistent connection honestly, I think would be a wonderful thing. I would love to, like, I'm always like, well, I don't want to be a cult leader and set up a commune, but I want a commune. But I want to call it a witchery. I want to have Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, and then we have a bunch of witches living and they can teach at the school, and that's our witchery. Like a private school for witches. Let's do it. I definitely want to do this. You're in? All right, Lindsay's in. Anyone else who's in, let me know. I have to just find location. There is a castle in New York that I really want. It's currently, I can't think of the name of it, but it's definitely like Hogwarts, so we need to buy that castle. Veruca Salt is in, yes! Honestly, it's not just a dream. We could make it happen. Like, we could make it happen. We don't even have to be celibate. We don't even have to be, this could be a fun witchery. Celibacy wasn't even a thing in the Catholic Church until like the 1600s. There was literally like 1500 years when priests could get married just like everyone else. Ew, weird. I treated myself today. I've been eating really super healthy, and I was like, I want a Dunkin' Donuts today, and so I got myself the cookie butter cold brew, and it was good at first, but now there's just soggy cookie and melted ice, and I'm good. Cheryl, I know you're down. Cheryl's gonna be my Professor McGonagall. No, actually, not McGonagall. You'll have to be because you'll teach astrology, so you'll have to be, what's her name? Trelawney. Actually, we'll all be Trelawney because we all do divination. Jelly munchkins are a thing? What? Okay, I have to try those. Next time I'm feeling the need for fast food, I'll go there. Although today when I got home, I'm a big fan of the maple cream donut, which I don't think they have everywhere, but in Northern New York, we have maple everything. We literally have maple everything, like maple salt, maple sugar, maple ketchup made with maple everything. But they have maple cream donuts, and I am obsessed with those. But I had them today, and I didn't really want it. I was eating it, and I was like, I don't want this. But then I should have just thrown it away, but I ate it. I don't know. You know, when you do that, I'm always like, this is the perfect opportunity for you not to eat something that you're allergic to when you don't want it. And I actually think my affirmations are working, because I have done some things out of habit recently, like being like, oh, I'm going to treat myself to whatever. And then I eat it and I'm like, oh, I don't actually want this. And my affirmations have been saying that I want to eat in really supportive ways. There's one that's worded in such a way that is like, I can't think of how I worded it, but it's worded in such a way that it's kind of like a trick, because it's basically like anything I eat, I won't have like physical reactions to anything I eat. Like no matter what I eat, I'm feeling good or whatever. But the way that it's phrased, it kind of makes me want to eat foods that will make me feel good. So it's basically saying I can eat anything and I will feel good, but I want to eat things that make me feel good. I can't remember exactly how it's phrased. I'll look it up and try to write it down for my Nourishment Tarot on Sunday, because we can talk about affirmations. I've been working on my goal setting. For those of you that are kind of following along here, if you want to start working on, we did the awareness and self-discovery part up here, where we looked at those journal prompts for, what we really wanted our lives to look like. There's a couple other sections. Once you did all that journaling, and I can give you the journal prompts today if you want them. I should put something up on my website, like a page on my website, like resources or something. But basically we looked at, what type of relationship do I want to have? What type of partner am I seeking? Where do I want to go from where I am right now? What sort of place do I want to live in? Country, city, town, etc. What kind of work do I want to be doing? In what ways do I want to express my spirituality? And what are the ways I am nurturing my health and wellness mentally, physically, and emotionally? And then that, after I wrote all that down, it was probably about 3 full pages in a notebook, I consolidated it into the vision for the life that I want. So I pulled out the main points and created the vision for the life that I want. And then from that, I also was able to get what my core values were, which seemed to be connection and family, spirituality and wellness, creativity and self-expression, education and enlightenment, entertainment and art, and luxury and comfort. So one of the benefits to knowing what your core values are is that if you are making choices, you can ask yourself, is this in alignment with my core value? Or if you're going to pay for something, like if you're like, okay, for instance, this morning when I went to get food that isn't that supportive of my health and wellness, if I looked in my core values here, buying that food and eating that food today does not fit into my core values. So I paid for something that doesn't fit. And when you pay for something, when you spend money or energy or time on something that fits your core values, you get a return on your investment. But if you pay for something that doesn't fit with your core values, it doesn't come back to you. That's something that I've really noticed. So basically, when I make that decision to spend my money, and I spend it on connection and family. So that means if somebody says, hey, why don't you drive down and come visit me for a weekend? And I'm like, I don't know if I should spend the money on the gas, I could actually go to my core values and be like, wait a minute, would spending the money on this trip be in alignment with my core values? And the first core value I have is connection and family. So yes, it would be. If I buy myself a new deck of cards, and I'm like, I have 50 cards. I didn't really need another deck of cards. I have over 50 decks of cards. I didn't really need to buy myself a deck of cards. And then start to feel guilty. I can be like, wait a minute, let me look at my core values. What are my core values? And I look at spirituality and entertainment and art. Those 3 aspects of, and actually wellness too. Those things, education and enlightenment. So buying a deck of cards for me is super in alignment with a bunch of my core values. Even luxury is on there too, like the luxuriousness of having a large selection when I do all of my readings. So core values are incredibly helpful for making decisions in your life. Messaging my person who hasn't connected with me and messaged me back Is that in alignment with my core values? Is it going to further connection and family? Well, I can assess, has connecting with my person, sending them a message, ever fulfilled me in one of these core values? And if I look through it, I can be like, no, because when I message somebody who doesn't respond back, that's not connecting with them. So that's actually not in alignment with my core value. If I wanted to message somebody who responded, that would be connection. But if they don't respond, then that's disconnection. And so it's not in alignment. So I won't get a return on that investment. This is super helpful. So I did the core values. I did the section on what's passionate about me, what brings me joy, what is my life's purpose and my mission, and what or who should I avoid in order to live a happier and more fulfilling life. That was a very fun and interesting section. I decided that I should avoid anyone that has a tendency to reflect back my self-doubt more than they affirm my inherent worthiness and acknowledge my accomplishments. And once I wrote that down, I realized that there are very close family members that I would need to avoid. And you know what? I used to. And it wasn't like I didn't love them or I hated them. It was just that in order to have a happier and more fulfilling life, avoiding a lot of communication with those people, it helped me. And so I acknowledged that until those people reflect back to me my inherent worthiness and acknowledge my accomplishments, I should probably avoid them. I should avoid inflammatory behaviors and substances, including high-stress jobs, alcohol, and refined sugars. Okay, it's pretty straightforward. I should avoid saying yes when I truly want to say no. I should avoid pursuing anyone who is not clear in their intentions or returning my energy in kind. Well, that eliminates a lot of people. And I should avoid fixation on the past or constant future projection, be present instead. And what's really funny is I wrote that down last week, and then on Monday is when I saw, no, it was Wednesday. Tuesday is when I had my breakdown. Okay, so Wednesday morning is when I saw this thing about how to actually be present. So writing that down, avoiding fixation on the past or constant future projection and being present instead, literally my guys were like, here's how to do it. Writing stuff down is so powerful. So the next thing that I wanted to work on this week is this super intimidating thing, and I'm really proud of myself because I did one of them today and I'm like, damn, it was actually really intimidating. They have this section. If you're interested in this planner, by the way, it's Clever Fox Planner is the name of it. So if you want something like this that you can do. And it has a super intimidating section because it has you write down how old you're going to be 1 year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now. And can you believe that in 20 years, I'm going to be 61 years old? Oh, okay. Anyway, so I wrote all that down, and then they have all the different areas of your life: health and fitness, business and career, family and friends, relationship and romance and everything. And then they have you write down where you are, where you would like to be in 1 year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. After you do this section where you say what you want your life to be like, there is your 1 year goals. So you take everything you just said, like, well, I want to be here and I want to do this. And so then in order to get there, you have to say, okay, if I want to be in a committed relationship in a year, I guess I better go on some dates. Like, I guess I better go date somebody. Or if I want to, what was my health goal I wrote down? A daily routine that is second nature and includes 3 liters of water, because that's appropriate for my body size, yoga / walking / dance, gradual weight loss, natural and not measured. And for me, the weight loss is not like, oh, I'm rejecting my body the way it is. It's that I have some physical things I want to be able to do. I want to be able to comfortably like reach my toes when I'm doing certain yoga moves, or like feel like I have more flexibility and more movement, or like freedom of movement, which because of my stomach is not possible right now. So I want to be able to feel more flexible, like I can do some things that I used to be able to do that I can't do now. And I have to be really careful with weight loss for myself because of years of disordered eating. And also fat phobia, which is a really big thing that permeates all aspects of our culture. So it's like finding a balance between my health and physically feeling good and acknowledging that having a lower body weight will actually feel physically better because I'll be able to do some things I can't do, and wanting to look different because I don't like how I look. Those are two different things. And it's definitely, you definitely have to be careful navigating it, because you cannot heal a body that you hate. You just cannot do that. So my point being that 1 year from now, that's what I would like to be true. Well, if that's true, then when I go over here to establish my 1 year goals, I have to turn that into an actual goal. So I have to be like, okay, for 12 months, I keep track of my daily routine. Like, keeping track of a routine is one way to solidify it. So my goal for this next year is to use something to track my daily goals, which this planner has a section for if I want to do that on a weekly basis. So I can write down my daily routine and track it. So it helps you do that. And then after you do that, it also has a mind map section too, if you'd rather do that. It has you establish your 3-month goals from this point. And then every 3 months, it does that again. So you revisit it. So it teaches you how to like break down these things into smaller and more manageable goals. Because looking at this right now and being like, I want to do all of these things. If I try to do all of those things tomorrow and try to keep up with it, I won't be able to. But if I gradually build these things into my routine over 12 months, they will become second nature. I know that because I've done that before. So I know that's true, and I know that I can accomplish that. So it's part of those elements of that, like setting a goal that's, what do they call it? Like SMART goals or whatever, specific and measurable and achievable and relevant and time bound. So yeah, I've been working on that recently, and I'm proud of myself because I actually did some of it today. I've been avoiding this section on the what I want my life to be like part before the goal setting. I've just been like, ew, I don't want to think about romance or anything. I just want to pretend it's not going to happen, continue to cycle through the same patterns, and then be like, why is my life like this? That's easier to do. So if anybody would like a personal reading, it is going to be $33 today. Lindsay, if you would like me to pull a card for you now, if you have a question you want answered, or if you just want general energy, let me know. And if you don't want a card, you don't have to get one when you're a prayer. It's just an option. If you would like me to pull one card for you, you can become a subscriber. There is an option to subscribe for only 1 month, and so that you don't have to have a repeating auto pay feature on the subscription. But as long as I see you in lives over the next month, if you have a little badge by your name, I will pull one card for you. And that's how I'm going to do 1 card readings from now on. Because I can't afford to do free readings at this time. Once I have enough subscriptions that I could sustain myself, then I absolutely can just read for free. But at this time, that's not possible. So unfortunately, I don't have free personal readings, but I have hours and hours of free content on Tuned In Tarot YouTube page is one place to find me. So go ahead and check that out. If you're interested in some messages for free, and I'm a firm believer that you will get the messages you need. So head over there and check that out if you would like. I have a question about our upcoming reading. Oh, about the reading I'm going to do for you? Like just like an act, like a... I feel you. I'm in the gray area financially right now, starting up my LLC. That's exciting, Katie. I really want to do that too. I want to actually have an LLC. I don't have that right now. I'm long-winded, but want to give you some info. I need example. Okay, so for the reading that you booked that Tell Me Everything, I don't need any information. I don't need any information. To be honest with you, I do not need, when people send me, when they book a reading with me and they give me the details of the relationship, I don't internalize any of it. I read it mostly because I want, like, you took the time to write it, and this is a community where we go through a lot of similar experiences, and I feel being seen is important. So I read what you write me, but I actually don't need any of it because I don't read anything except for what the cards tell me, and the cards tell me what you need to hear. And so for the Tell Me Everything spread, I already have all the questions planned out. That's what's special about that spread. The questions for it are, how does this person feel about the connection? What are they hiding? What are they sorry about? What do they want, or what do they want to say about the present moment? What do they want from you? What do they long for? What do they long to tell you? What do they need right now? What are they willing to give you? What do they hope for? What do they promise to do about the connection? And what are they thankful for? And then there's some oracles too. So almost all of your questions get answered in that spread. That's why it's called the Tell Me Everything. It's like everything that you could possibly need to know. And it's not about your person. It's about your divine masculine energy. But most of the time, the person that you chose is, reflecting it back to you. Although every once in a while, you will have chosen somebody and they are not at all in alignment with your divine masculine self, but it's always really obvious when that happens. So for the most part, the people that we choose are in alignment with those messages, and so you can resonate with them that way. So yeah, I really don't need any information, because I personally, I'm not there when I read my ego, the part of me that would read your message, not there. I'm not. It's just whatever is coming through me, and then I say it. And then, like, a lot of times I'll even say to people, if you have to ask me a question about something in your reading, a lot of times people will be like, oh, when you said this, what did you mean? And I'll be like, well, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't say that. Like, I don't remember saying it. I don't remember. I'll feel bad because people will expect me to know, like, their ongoing saga, but I won't really know it because reading the tarot is like not reading your saga. It's like pulling through the messages that you need to get information from for you to understand what's going on. So yeah, you don't need to give me any long information. However, that being said, if you feel like pouring out your heart and saying this is what happened to me, like I said, I do read that because I know when I was going through my journey initially and I found other people who believed in what I believed in, or at least had an understanding that I had telepathic connection with this person. A lot of times people will tell me that tentatively, like, I kind of like talk to my person. I'll be like, girl, for the last 10 years, I've been having full on out loud verbal, I speak in my person's voice conversations. You're preaching to the converted. I'm there right with you, But yeah, I'm always open to reading about your experiences, and I personally pay attention to the experience, but like, I won't necessarily remember details, but I definitely, like, I read it, I see it. And, so if you just need to ever vent or something, feel free to tell me all you need to, but I actually don't really need anything for a reading. I can read cold for almost anybody. That was something that I was scared to do when I first started. People would give me information. I'd be like, okay, so this is going on. And then I'd read the cards and be like, not realizing that I didn't need any of that. And sometimes, in fact, me not knowing anything makes the reading even more validating because I didn't know what situation you were in. And the messages I got were like, boom, this is the situation you're in. So sometimes it's more validating that you don't even tell me anything. I always get people like that who are like, I'm not going to tell her anything, and then we'll see what she says. And then they'll be like, and I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. When I as a musician, if I sing, if I play you a song that I've written or something like that, I'm ego as fuck about it. Like, I'm a Leo. So I'm like, yeah, I wrote that. Like, that is me. Yeah, I sing that. Like, my voice is good. I'm an expert. With tarot, I'm like, I'm entertaining. I'm good at being entertaining. I'm funny. Like, that is the, like, I have a Leo sense of, okay, well, of course the divine would choose me to give you the messages because I'm a hilarious vessel to give you the messages. But that's the only thing I think that I'm capable of doing, is just being funny about how the messages come out. But it is definitely not me. I'll say these things and I'll listen to myself say them and be like, oh my God, that is brilliant. And it's not me. I wish I could take credit. Oh, my sissy's here. Hi, my sister, Champagne Supernova, is here. She's becoming a famous model as we speak. She has a billboard in Los Angeles. I'm so proud of you, Katie. I was just bragging about how funny I am. It's a family trait. My sister is also a Reiki master and a tarot card reader as well. So you should check her out. But really, she's mostly super hot. You said you don't know what comes out of your mouth when you speak. Yeah. I think I've always been that way my whole life. Like, I would always say to people, I figure things out as I talk about them. But later I realized I think it's because I actually pull messages through. And that, like, I did my whole life. Like, I was kind of always channeling answers and, like, wisdom. And then I would say it and I'd be like, oh my God, that's so true. I'm so smart for thinking of that. And then years later, now that I do this, I'm like, oh, I was never thinking of that. I was just receiving thoughts from the divine. When did I turn into Maya Angelou? I love that review. Oh my gosh. Oh, and before I go, I'm sure you saw today on the post, but there is still that discount going on for my readings. It's done tonight at midnight. So if you book a $33 reading on my website, you can receive the $44 Tell Me Everything spread. Just let me know in the notes that you want the Tell Me Everything spread, and I will do that for you this weekend. Well, actually, I'll do it for you whenever you book it. You can book it anytime. You can book it for next month if you want to, but you just have to book by tonight in order to get the deal. So, and I'll probably do a similar deal again. If you can't take advantage this time, I'll probably do something again around like Cyber Monday or something. And then again around Christmas time. So there will be a couple more deals before the holidays. Honestly, this year, I know from my own experience, which I was a small business owner last year, was my first full year of only doing my own business. And I was not prepared for January, which was oh my God, it was so bad. I think I made $200 from my business from January 1st through February 15th last year. I only made $200. It was brutal. So I'm trying to plan better for that, which means I need to be able to set aside, which means I need to do really well over the next month and a half. So if you were considering booking a reading, and you're just kind of on the fence about it, the next month and a half is going to be a big deal for me in terms of saving. And alternatively, you could also plan to do it in January to help me out, because I anticipate that it will probably be similarly a little bit difficult, because logically people spend a lot of money before the new year because of the holidays, and then they kind of buckle down in January and there's not a whole lot of frivolous spending going on. So absolutely, Veruca Salt, when you're ready, you're ready. That's another thing. For my job, it's kind of the thing that your readings are divinely timed, so when the time is right, that's when you will book the reading, and I know that. I'll just pray that many of you need readings during January this year, and I'll defy the small business odds single-handedly. Well, I think that's all I've got for you today. I hope you enjoyed the messages that came through. I'm going to end with our visualization, which I did yesterday. I'm refining it kind of. I actually followed the visualization myself last night before I went to bed. It was kind of hard for me, for some reason, to listen to myself do the visualization. I don't know. Even though my affirmations are in my own voice and it's supposed to be more powerful, like listening to myself tell me what to do, I think I was rebellious. I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. But if you want to repeat this visualization, it will be available once I upload this to YouTube later. So I'm going to switch the music over to this 999 hertz 999, 99, and 9 hertz sound healing frequency for a higher dimension encounter. That is what we are going to do on this whole visualization. It's going to be on YouTube, Nicole. Oh, we have a tornado warning? I used to live in Ann Arbor, Michigan, so I had my fair share of tornado warnings there. And even a couple tornadoes that happened while I was living there, but nothing that was like real significant. I do remember one time sitting in the bathroom of the apartment that I was in, pregnant with my 2 cats, because it was like the sky was like terrifyingly green and I was scared. So be safe. And you can catch this whole replay because I will upload it to YouTube after I log off today. So it'll probably be there by this evening at the latest, so you can see it. Southwest Virginia. That is kind of rare, huh? In that location. How close are you to Richmond? Everybody who lives in Richmond is obsessed with Richmond. That I have never met a person. I'll be in I think I was in Maryland once for a concert, and there's this person standing next to me, and they were just saying they loved their town so much, and just jokingly, I was like, "Are you from Richmond?" And he turned around and looked at me and was like, "Yeah." And I was like, he's like, "How did you know?" And I was like, because everybody that I've ever met from Richmond just thinks it's the bee's knees. Like, they just are, there's so much solidarity about that city. All right, let's go ahead and start the visualization. So if you want to get comfy. So I want for you all now to just start to notice how you feel. Just get a sense of how your body feels right now. Notice your breathing. If you're a person that reads energy, notice the way the energy feels. And your thoughts. Just get a sense of the thoughts that you're thinking right now. And you don't have to do anything about the sensations you're feeling, about the tension or the heaviness, or even if you're having a lot of thoughts at this moment. Just notice. If your mind is racing and it's difficult to pay attention to how you feel, I want you to label your mind as thinking. And you can just kind of repeat to yourself, thinking, thinking, thinking. because that's all you're doing. If you feel a heaviness or a heartache, or you feel like you are hurting, just notice. And you can label that and say hurting, hurting, hurting. Just try to reduce some of your sensations into their purest form. Just noticing that they're there. You might start to feel yourself relaxing. Some of the tension just gently releasing. Some of the heaviness you're feeling lightening. And even your mind might be beginning to be quieter. Now I want you to start to imagine your sacred space. You might have been there before, or you might not have ever created this space within you. Either way, you're going to go there now. This space can be inside, outside, wherever you feel safe. Whatever brings you pleasure. The beach, a grove, a library, a garden, or the cozy family room in your childhood home. Just begin to imagine this space, inviting in as much detail as you can. Notice the temperature, the sounds, the smells, the colors of the environment. You've entered the sacred space today to have a chat with your highest self. So I want you to imagine that highest self entering the space with you right now, through a door or an opening in the trees, or appearing suddenly walking towards you along the shore. Pay attention to this self. How do they move? What are they wearing? What is their body language like? As they come closer and closer, start to notice all the similarities between you and the differences. Notice whatever outfit they're wearing, because this is something that your deepest self would most like to wear. I want you to envision them coming close enough to take each other's hands. Look into each other's eyes. And really see your higher self and be seen by yourself. I want you to envision asking yourself, what do I most need right now? And listen to the response. Even if this is a strange word or phrase that you're not completely understanding at the moment, just file it away. You will understand in time if you don't already. Now I want you to imagine embracing this version of self and feeling safe and warm and loved. Maybe safer and warmer and more loved than you've ever imagined before. Imagine this higher self telling you, I am so proud of you. I have seen all of your struggles. I have been with you as you've walked the path to find me, and I know how hard it has been. I couldn't be happier to see you. And I'm always watching, and I'm always supporting you, and I'm always believing in you, and I'm always feeling so much love for you, and I'm always excited for you because I know what is coming, and it's so good. This might make you feel emotion, and you can just release all of that emotion. Your higher self is holding you and keeping you safe while you feel deeply the power of your words. I want you to imagine that you are beginning to melt together, merging and becoming one entity. And it feels so good. All of the confidence, the grace, all of the self-assurance, that's become part of you now. It always was. It always is. Imagine walking around now, fully integrated with this higher self. Imagine moving your bodies in ways you've never moved them before. Flexible, strong, resilient, graceful. Play in the space that you're in for a little while, fully integrated with this higher self. Now I want you to imagine that someone has just called out your name. And as soon as you hear this voice, you know them. This is the higher self of the person that you are very much in alignment with. This doesn't have to be a specific person that you know now. You can let this person be exactly who they are. But I want you to notice exactly how they look when you turn around. What does their hair look like? Their eyes, their skin, the clothes that they wear, their body language. Observe their confidence, their self-satisfaction, and self-control, their joy, because they are overjoyed to see you, just as you are overjoyed to see them. Now imagine holding their hands, just like you did with your higher self. And ask them to tell you something you most need to know. Now imagine embracing this higher self of this person that is so very much in alignment with you. And it feels just like when you embraced your higher self. Because in truth, it is your higher self. So familiar, so loved, so cherished, so safe. Start to feel yourself just sinking into this embrace as you hear the same words that you heard from your higher self. I am so proud of you. I have been watching you make your way to find me, to be in alignment with me. I know you. I know your struggles. I know how hard you work. I love you. I cherish you. I respect you. I am inspired by you. And start to imagine melting into this person until you are fully integrated with them. you have become one. You can come back to this sacred space and talk to this higher version of self and the higher version of your person anytime that you like. This place is always available for you. And your higher self and your person's higher self are always holding this space for you. And when you are ready, you can come back to me and my voice and the room that you're in and the body that you're in. But when you do come back to your body, I intend that you will feel the fullness that you have just received. And you will carry that back with you through the rest of this day. So you may want to start to wiggle your toes and your fingers. You can open your eyes. Let me know how that felt. And hydrate if you have some water. And you may need, sometimes after visualization like this, you may need to release from your body immediately. That's a very common. It feels nice to guide that. Even though my eyes are open, I can still kind of have the visualization with you. I realize when you can visualize with your eyes open, you're probably pretty good at maladaptive daydreaming. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you really enjoyed that visualization, and you're so welcome. And that it helps you to really get that information from within that you need. Because whatever your higher self told you today, that was what you most needed to know, more than anything I told you. So you have a good one too. Good to see you. And I will see you all tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Tell Me Everything Extended Spread. The replay will be available for members only. The Tell Me Everything Spread is still only members only. Or if you're a subscriber, you have the link to the Tell Me Everything playlist. So if you miss tomorrow, you will still see it. And then, of course, on Sunday, I will be back at 4 p.m. for Nourishing Tarot. Saturday morning cartoons with Pearl. That's right. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow. Have the best day. Take care.